I stole a gold pocket watch from the man who owned my hours, and it destroyed him without a single act of violence. They called it theft. I call it reclaiming what was stolen first my time, measured and controlled by a device he wound every morning with the certainty of a man who believed metal could own flesh. I was a message runner on the Charleston wharf. I watched him check that watch before he checked our faces. I observed how minutes ruled more than men. How bells commanded breath. How precision became a chain more reliable than ire. So I took it, not in rage, not in haste. In the exact moment when the system looked away from itself, schedules collapsed, ships arrived to chaos. The sail was postponed. Authority crumbled not because I struck a blow, but because I removed the tool that measured our obedience. This testimony belongs to the chronicles of KOFIN archive of truths that were never meant to survive but refused to stay buried. If you believe some thefts restore what was taken first, stand as witness to this account. Signal that you recognize what I recognized. Speak your judgment in the testimony below, because here is what I need you to answer. When a man steals your time and calls it employment, and you steal his measure and call it theft too, is the criminal. And who decides? I run messages along the wharf where bells decide breath and motion. The harbor smells of salt and tar and rotting fish. Gulls cry overhead in patterns I have learned to read. Rain means they fly low. Clear skies send them high. My feet move fast across wooden planks that creak under weight and time. The wood is old. Some boards are newer than others. I notice which ones the white men avoid. I step where they step. I watch the manager check his pocket watch before he checks faces. His eyes go to the gold case first. Always first. Then to us. His hand moves to his vest pocket with the certainty of ritual. He pulls out the watch, opens the case, reads the face, closes it, returns it to the pocket. Only then does he look at the worker standing before him. There is no memory yet, only the sense that minutes rule more than men. I cannot name what I feel, not yet, but I sense the weight of something familiar, something that echoes back to a time before ships and chains and harbors. I begin noting who waits and who is blamed. The pattern forms like water finding low ground, natural, inevitable. Men who arrive when the bell says arrive are praised. Men who arrive after the bell are blamed. It does not matter if the work is the same. If the cargo moves the same, the bell decides everything. At the warehouse door, shifts change on the strike of the bell. The sound cuts through fog and noise and the constant cry of gulls. Bodies move when metal rings. Not before, not after. I watch men finish sentences mid-word when the bell sounds. I watch them drop tools and walk away from incomplete tasks. The bell commands. They obey. I observe how labor bends to the watch, even when cargo does not. Ships arrive when wind allows, wind tides permit, when weather cooperates, but the bell rings when the manager decides. When the watch tells him to decide, the cargo waits. The ships wait, but the men move according to gold and springs and tiny wheels, hidden behind a white face. The precision stirs, a faint memory of counting by rhythm back home. Drummers guided planting. Their hands spoke to the earth. Singers marked harvest time. Their voices told us when to gather, when to cut, when to celebrate. We needed no metal instruments, no gold kazas, no Roman numbers on white faces. I start listening for the space between strikes. That is where truth hides. Between the sound and the silence, between the command and the obedience. In my land, the space between drum beats held meaning. The silence was not empty. It was full of possibility, full of choice. The manager corrects a delay by tapping the watch, not asking why. His finger strikes the gold case. Once, twice, 3 times. The sound is small but sharp. The worker standing before him apologizes without explanation, without defense. The manager does not ask about the delay, does not inquire about cause. He simply taps the watch. The watch is his evidence. He's proof, his authority. I observe pride settle into routine. He trusts the mechanism more than the man, more than weather, more than the reality of work and cargo and ships that move on nature's time. The watch becomes his god. Small, portable, infallible. His gesture recalls traders measuring bodies with the same confidence. They used rods and chains. They recorded numbers in ledgers with careful handwriting. They measured height, weight, age, teeth. They trusted their instrument. They believed in precision. They were certain. I mark where punctuality replaces judgment. The watch owns what questions should answer. A man is late. Why? The watch does not care. A shipment is delayed. Why? The watch only records the fact. Judgment requires thought. The watch requires only reading. I carry ledgers to the office and see the watch laid beside them. The gold catches lamplight. The case sits open. Hands move across a white face, marked with Roman numbers that mean nothing to most of us. Numbers that the white man treats as universal truth, as if all people everywhere measure time the same way. I observe how decisions pause until the case is opened. The manager spreads papers across his desk. Reports, invoices, bills of lading, but he does not read them first. He reads time before reading reports. His hand goes to the watch, opens it, checks. Only then does he proceed. The sight triggers a memory of gold weighed without scales. By fill, traders in my village knew value by touch, by weight in the palm. They needed no instrument, no device. They lifted, they felt, they knew. Their knowledge came from years of practice, from tradition passed down through generations, from trust in human skill. I file the lesson. Numbers depend on rhythm. Rhythm depends on who controls it. The watch does not create time. It only measures what it claims to own. But time existed before watches. Time will exist after. The question is not what time it is. The question is who decides. A dock scheduler assigns shifts by bell and signal. He is a free black man. His name is Marcus. I learned this by listening, by watching. His notebook is full of calculations. His hand moves quickly across the page. Numbers, times, names. He translates the manager's orders into the language of labor. I observe how small delays vanish at the waterline. The schedule bends to hide gaps. Tides. Marcus adjusts times on paper to match reality at the dock. He adds minutes here, removes them there. He makes the watch and the work agree even when they do not want to. His method triggers my memory of crowds, guided by sound rather than sight. Festival drums told us when to gather, when to dance, when to stop. We did not need to see the drummer. We only needed to hear. The sound traveled through air and earth, through our feet, through our chests. We felt it before we heard it. I note where minutes slip unseen. They disappear into water and weather, into fog and distance, into the space between what happened and what was recorded. Marcus knows this. He uses it. He protects workers with invisible time. Rumors of a sale tighten schedules across the yard. The warehouse might change hands. New owners want proof of order, proof of efficiency, proof that their investment will yield returns. The manager walks faster, checks the watch more often. His anxiety spreads like sickness. Everyone feels it. Everyone responds. I observe the watch consulted more often. Every delay matters now. Every minute counts. What was forgiven before becomes unforgivable. What was invisible becomes scrutinized. The pressure builds like water behind a dam. The pressure recalls days when traders hurried to close accounts. Before ships sailed, before seasons turned, before death or disease reduced inventory. I remember the urgency in their voices, the speed of their transactions, the desperation hidden behind casual negotiation. Stakes rise with the ticking. I feel it in the air. Heavy, constant, present. The watch measures more than minutes now. It measures value, worth, future. The manager's future, the warehouse's future, our futures. I watch the manager when to watch each morning. His ritual is precise, sacred. He arrives before the first bell, before the first worker. He sits, he opens the case, turns the crown, counts the clicks. I stand outside the door. I listen. 12 clicks. Always 12. Then silence. Then the gentle snap of the case closing. I observe faith placed in a click. He believes in what he cannot see. Springs and wheels hidden behind gold. Mechanisms that could fail, that could break, that could slow or speed without warning. But he trusts them completely, absolutely. No memory now, only certainty forming. Ticky, the flaw is clear. Time, the control. Break the rhythm, break the power. The thought arrives, fully formed, not as possibility, as a fact. That night, I pause before continuing this memory. I sit on my pallet in the quarters. Others sleep around me. I hear breathing, snoring, a child crying softly, 3 pallets over. Someone coughs. Someone else turns and mutters in sleep. The sounds of survival, the sounds of endurance. I acknowledge the danger of touching what measures lives. Of a master's property is punished severely. Theft of a master's watch, a symbol of his authority, his precision, his control, would be punished most severely of all. I know this. I have seen punishments. I have heard screams. I have watched bodies carry scars. Still, observation must become design. Knowing is not enough. Understanding is not enough. I must act. But how? When? With whom? These questions circle in my mind like birds searching for a place to land. Dawn becomes the transition. When light comes through the gaps in the walls, I will know what to do. I trust this. I trust the rhythm of thought that happens between sleep and waking, between darkness and light. I remember my uncle teaching me to read rhythm before number. The memory comes sharp, clear, undeniable. His hands on the drum, my small hands beside his, smaller versions of his. I was 6 years old, maybe 7. Age was measured differently then, by seasons, by growth, by capability. Listen for what is not played, he said. His voice was deep, patient. He never rushed teaching, never hurried learning. The silence holds the pattern. He played a rhythm, then stopped, then asked me to continue. I tried to match what he played. He shook his head. No, play what comes after the silence. Play what the silent promises. The memory sharpens the path. I understand now what I must do. I must not steal the watch in violence, in sudden action, in obvious rebellion. I must steal it in silence, in the space between, in the moment when attention looks elsewhere. I listen for where the day breathes, and where it rushes. Morning is slow. Men arrive, tired. Movements are heavy. Midday is chaos. Ships arrive, cargo moves. Orders are shouted. Evening settles. The pace slows again. Bodies ache. Minds drift. Toward rest. Strategy begins in seconds, not acts. Small delays compound. Small confusions multiply. A minute added here, disrupted a minute removed there. Gradually, until the system no longer trusts itself. I speak quietly with the dock scheduler about bells and blame. I find Marcus during a break. He sits on a crate eating bread and salted fish. I stand nearby, not too close, not familiar, just present. The bell controls us all, I say. He looks at me carefully. His eyes are intelligent, cautious. He has survived by reading situations, by understanding danger. What are you thinking? I sometimes do not answer directly, late. Sometimes early. Who checks? The manager checks his watch. What if the watch is wrong? He stops, chewing. His eyes narrow. What are you thinking? He asks. Again I observe his caution, then resolve. He knows what it means to live by another man's measure. He bought his freedom. He knows the price of time. He knows that minutes equal money. Money equals freedom. Freedom equals life. His agreement echoes chosen kinship under risk. We do not speak it aloud. We do not need to. He understands. Not the full plan. I do not share that. But he understands that something is happening. Something that resists the watch. The bell. The control. We align on timing, not intention. He will help without knowing why. I will act without revealing how this is safe, for both of us knowledge is dangerous. Ignorance is protection. We test a small delay. One bell struck a breath late. Marcus waits 3 seconds, then rings. The sound travels across the yard, through fog, through noise, the pure tone of metal announcing time. I observe confusion ripple, then settle. Workers look up, look at each other. Check the sky. Check the position of the sun when it is visible through clouds. Then move. The routine absorbs the gap. The system is flexible. More flexible than the manager knows. The effect mirrors village shifts guided by song. When singers paused, dancers adjusted. The pattern held, not through rigidity, through adaptation. Through collective understanding that rhythm is shared, that we all created together. Confirmation steadies me. This current works. Small disruptions are invisible. Small confusions are forgiven. The system expects minor variations. Weather causes them. Human error causes them. As long as the variation is small, it disappears. I hesitate, knowing compounding delays will draw eyes. I sit on a crate near the water. The sun is setting. Orange light spreads across the harbor. Red, purple, gold. The sky performs its daily ritual. Indifferent to bells. Indifferent to watchers. Indifferent to human schemes. I remember betrayal born of haste. A man in the quarters tried to run. His name was Samuel. He planned for 3 days. He was caught in 2. They brought him back. Made an example. I will not be Samuel. I will not rush. I will not force. I choose patience. The next step must look like routine, must feel like accident, must appear as natural variation rather than intentional sabotage. The white man thinks we move without thought, that we are tools responding to bells, that we have no interior life, no planning, no strategy. He does not see us calculating, planning, remembering. This blindness is his weakness, his flaw, his vulnerability. In my land, this meant survival. Warriors watched 4 seasons before striking. Hunters studied patterns for years. Patience was not weakness. It was wisdom. It was strength. It was the difference between success and failure. Between life and death. That is when I know the path forward. I will not rush. I will not force. I will let the system break itself. I will simply remove one small piece, the watch, and observe what happens when precision loses its tool, when control loses its measure, when authority loses its symbol. I do not forget. I never forget. My uncle's hands on the drum, the silence that holds the pattern, the traders who came with chains, the ships that carried us away, the bells that now measure our lives. I forget nothing. I carry everything. My hand finds the bronze weight in my pocket. It is still there. A small piece from home. A reminder of what rhythm means. The weight is smooth, warm, comforting. I do not know how it came with me. I do not remember taking it, but it survived. Like me, like memory itself. The watch sits on the manager's desk. I have seen where he places it. Left side, near the edge. Within reach. I know when he looks away. When the clerk enters, when the bell rings, when attention shifts. Tomorrow, I will begin the second movement. Tomorrow, the minutes will start arguing with themselves. But tonight, I hesitate. Once I take it, there is no return. Once control shifts, consequence follows. I think of Marcus, of the others who'll be questioned, of the price that falls unevenly. Some will suffer. Some will escape. This is always true. Resistance costs. The question is whether the costs is worth the gain. I close my eyes. I breathe. I remember my uncle's last words before the traders came. We heard him in the village. Come in. My uncle stood outside our home. He placed his hand on my head. His palm was rough. warm, heavy with meaning. They can take your body, he said. They cannot take your time. I did not understand then. I was young. I thought time was just days, just seasons, just the movement of sun and moon. I did not understand that time is measure. That time is power. That time is the difference between human and tool. Tomorrow, I take back my measure. I run messages a minute slower, where excuses already live. The path between warehouse and dock is long, uneven. The planks are slippery when wet. Fog rolls in most mornings. I add seconds to my steps. Not enough to be obvious, just enough to blur precision. I observe blame slide to the water and the weather. The boy was delayed by cargo, they say. Someone spilled oil on the walkway. Someone blocked the path with crates. The fog is thick today. Rain makes everything slower. The excuses are ready, waiting. I simply step into them. The pattern triggers my memory of systems forgiving what they expect. In my village, late arrivals during storm season were normal. No one questioned rain. No one blamed the runner for mud. Nature's delays were understood, accepted, built into the pattern of life. The plan tightens. Small delays are invisible when they fit the landscape, when they match what people already believe, when they confirm expectations rather than challenge them. I am not creating chaos. I am revealing the chaos that already exists beneath the surface of precision. The manager checks the watch more often. His hand goes to his vest pocket. He pulls out the gold case, opens it, reads, closes it, returns it. 5 times in 1 hour, 6 times the next, 7 times the hour after that. I observe anxiety where certainty lived. The watch is not enough anymore. Time feels slippery. The numbers on the white face do not match the feeling in his gut. Something is wrong. He cannot name it, cannot locate it, but he feels it. The rhythm is off new memory now. Only consequence. Minutes begin to argue with each other. The schedule says one thing. The work says another. Ships arrive when they should not. Delays appear where none should exist. The watch claims order. Reality claims confusion. During a regular tally, the watch is set down within reach. The manager spreads papers across his desk. The watch sits to his left. Gold again, Starkwood? I stand near the door with a message, waiting to be dismissed. Invisible. Forgotten. Just another body doing what bodies are told to do. I observe how habit replaces caution. He has placed the watch there 100 times. 1,000 times. Nothing has ever happened. Why would anything happen now? Routine creates blindness. Repetition creates vulnerability. Safety is an illusion built on nothing more than the absence of past danger. The site recalls gold left unattended during ceremony. Traders trusted ritual. They trusted repetition. They placed their goods on tables during festivals, watched dances, drank palm wine, laughed. They believed safety came from power, from authority, from the threat of punishment. They were wrong. Safety comes from attention. They stop paying attention. Opportunity opens quietly, like a door left unlocked, like a window left unlatched, like a moment awry. Exactly when it should. I feel my breath slow, my heart beats steady, my mind clear. This is the moment. Not chosen, not forced, simply arrive. One choose the moment when a bell covers motion. Markers rings for shift change. The sound fills the building, cuts through walls, travels through floor and ceiling. Everyone listens. Everyone moves. Bodies turn toward the door. Toward the next task, toward the next room. Bell. Listen away from me. The manager turns toward the window. His clerk steps outside to call orders. 2 workers enter through the opposite door. Motion everywhere. Attention nowhere specific. Just the general chaos of transition. I cross the floor in 4 steps. My hand closes around the watch. The gold is warm. Heavier than expected. Solid. Real. Valuable. My fingers curl around it. Lift it. Slide it into my pocket. The weight settles against my thigh. The watch changes hands without sound. No one looks. No one sees. No one knows. The bell continues ringing. Bodies continue moving. Life continues, but something fundamental has shifted. Power has moved. Control has transferred. Time has changed ownership. My heart pounds. My breath stays steady. I walk out with the message still in my hand. Natural. Routine. Expected. Just a boy running messages. Just a tool performing its function. Nothing to see. The plan passes its point of return. Nothing. There is no going back now. The watch is gone. Soon it will be missed. Soon questions will come. Soon the system will begin searching for what it lost. But for now, in this moment, I simply walk and breathe and feel the weight of gold against my leg. Schedules fall to the same afternoon. A shipment arrives early. No one prepared space. Workers stand idle while clerks argue about timing. Papers are checked, rechecked. The schedule says tomorrow. The ship says today. Who is right? The watch would answer. But the watch is gone. I observe confusion spread without a clear source. Didn't the bell ring? Someone asked. I thought we had an hour. Another voice. The manager said 3 o'clock. Another. No. He said 2. The certainty's gone. The precision is gone. Memory becomes unreliable when time becomes unclear. The memory of rhythm broken returns. When drummers stopped mid-ceremony, dancers stumbled. The pattern fell apart. Bodies collided. Grace became chaos, not because dancers forgot how to dance, because the rhythm they've relied on disappeared. Without pattern, movement loses meaning. Authority searches for minutes that will not answer. The manager tears through papers, demands explanations. His voice rises. His face reddens. His hands shake. He looks for the watch, pats his pocket, pats again, stops, searches the desk, the floor, the drawers. The manager accuses clerks. Then the doc. Someone move the schedule, he shouts. His voice carries across the yard. Workers pause, listen, exchange glances. Someone changed the times. Someone is sabotaging this operation. The clerk checks his notes. His finger traces lines of careful handwriting. Sir, I wrote what you told me. 3 o'clock for the Bristol ship. Here. See? Then you wrote it wrong. Sir, you watched me write it. You confirmed it. Then the bell rang wrong. I observe blame scatter. It lands on papers. On workers, on the fog, on the ship captain, on the dock scheduler, on God, on bad luck. Everywhere except where it belongs. Everywhere except on the watch that is no longer there to confirm or deny. New memory now only unraveling. The watch is gone, but time keeps moving. Ships arrive. Cargo waits. Labor continues. The system limps forward, wounded, confused, but still moving, still functioning, barely. Bells ring on guesses. Space runs out. Workers arrive when others have not left. Start. Who was supposed to leave? Who was supposed to arrive? The bell rang. Or did it? Was it early? Was it late? No one knows. The watch would know. But the watch is gone. I observe labor stall under precision's absence. Without exact timing, nothing fits. The machinery of control seizes. Like gears without oil, like wheels without alignment. The system was always fragile, always dependent, but no one knew until the dependency was removed. The white man thinks the watch made order. He does not understand that order came from agreement, from rhythm, from collective acceptance of a shared measure. The watch did not create time. It only claimed to own it, and we agreed to pretend control proves dependent on a small thing, a gold case with moving hands, a mechanism of springs and wheels, a device that could fit in a pocket, that could be wound in 12 clicks. That could be lost. That could be stolen. That could be broken. Power built on such a small foundation was always vulnerable, always temporary. Power thins. I see it in the manager's eyes, in the way he stands, shoulders forward, back bent. He has lost his measure. Without the watch, he has only words, only authority, only the threat of punishment. But authority without proof is just opinion. Threat without certainty is just noise. I keep the watch hidden, feeling its weight. It sits wrapped in cloth beneath my pallet. I take it out at night when others sleep. The gold catches moonlight through the gaps in the walls. I hold it, feel its weight, its reality, its power transferred. I observe my breath, find its own pace. Without bells, I breathe differently, deeper, slower, not according to shifts or schedules or commands, according to my body, my needs, my rhythm. The watch ticks in my hand, but it does not tell me what to do. It simply marks moments that belong to me now. The memory of counting by feel steadies me. My uncle taught me to find rhythm in my chest, in blood, in the earth itself. Time lives in your body, he said. Not in the sky, not in the sun, not in devices. In you. Feel it, trust it. My measure returns, not stolen, reclaimed. This is not theft. This is recovery. This is taking back what was taken first. My time, my rhythm, my right to move, according to my own pattern. The sale is postponed. The buyers want proof of efficiency. Word spreads through the yacht. They see only chaos. They see confusion. They see a manager who cannot keep time, who cannot maintain schedules, who cannot control his operation. They withdraw. For now, they will return. But not yet. Not until order is restored. I observe relief, mixed with fear. The manager keeps his position. For now, but questions remain. Doubts linger. His authority is damaged. His reputation scarred. He survives, but barely. And time exposes fragility without spectacle. No violence, no confrontation, no rebellion in the form the white man expects. Just minutes refusing to line up. Just schedules failing to match. Just the quiet collapse of precision when its tool disappears. The system confesses its weakness without speaking. Consequence lands unevenly. Some suffer more than others. Some lose nothing. I know this. I accept it. Resistance is never clean. Liberation is never fair. Freedom costs. The price is distributed according to proximity to power. Those closest suffer most. Those farthest escape easiest. The dock scheduler is reassigned. Marcus is moved to the far warehouse. Different shift, different bells. We do not work together anymore. I watch him receive the news. His face shows nothing, but his hands tighten on the notebook he carries. I observe the costs fall close. He never knew my full plan, but he helped. Blame touched him anyway. Not accusation, not punishment. Just the quiet redistribution of trust. The manager no longer trusts him with sensitive timing. No longer relies on his calculations. Marcus is demoted without being fired. Damaged without being destroyed. The loss recalls survival's price. In my village, warriors protected the group. Some fell. Others lived. Memory held both. We honored the fallen. We celebrated the survivors. We understood that both were necessary. That sacrifice was part of resistance. That cost was part of change. We exchanged no words. He passes me on the wharf 3 days after his reassignment. Our eyes meet. He nods once. Slight, brief, meaningful. He knows. Not everything, but enough. He knows I did something. He knows it cost him. He knows he would do it again. I do not forget. I never forget. His hand on the bell, his breath of patience before the ring, his willingness to help without understanding, his sacrifice without consent. I carry this debt. I honor it. If there is a future where I can repay it, I will. I leave the wharf on a routine errand that does not return. Morning fog is thick. I walk with a sack of documents for the harbor office. 3 blocks north. The manager sends me, trusts me. I am just a boy, just a runner, just a tool that has never failed before. I observe the bells ring without certainty. The sound is muffled, confused. No one is sure what it means anymore. Shifts change on approximation, on feeling, on agreement between workers rather than command from above. The rhythm continues. But it belongs to us now, not to the watch, not to the manager, to us. The watch keeps time in my pocket. I feel it with each step. Steady, reliable, mine. The ticking is soft, constant, like a heartbeat, like breath, like the drum my uncle played. The mechanism that measured my oppression now marks my liberation. I keep walking, past to the harbor office, past the market, away from
wharf,
bells, the road that leads away from water, imposed by other men. No one stops me. No one questions. A boy with a sack walking through fog is invisible, expected, normal. I am seen and unseen at once. I pause before ending this account. I sit in a room I rent, with money saved from running messages. The watch sits on the table before me, gold-catching candlelight. Beautiful, valuable, powerful, but only because we agree it is. Only because we granted meaning. That metal in the springs gave him authority over my breath, over my motion, over my life. He was wrong. He believed a tool created power. But power is agreement. Power is collective acceptance. Power is the decision to obey. Remove the agreement. Remove the power. But time belongs to rhythm, not the man who counts it. In my land, this meant drummers led kings. Rhythm was sacred. Time was shared. No one man held all the minutes. No one person maintained it together. We created it, changed it together. I stole back my measure, and the system confessed without speaking. It showed its weakness, its dependence on a small gold thing, its vulnerability to the loss of a single tool. It revealed that order was always illusion. That control was always temporary. That power was always borrowed. The white man thinks theft is about taking. He does not understand it is about restoring, about returning to what was stolen first. Heeded my chimney, my rhythm, my measure. I took his watch. We are not even. We will never be even. But this is a start. I do not forget. I never forget. The traders who measured both, the masters who measured hours, the system built on stolen time, the bells that commanded breath, the watch that claimed authority. I carry all of it. Every moment, every injustice, every small victory. That is when I know this is not the end. It is a beginning. One watch stolen. One system disrupted. One man manager freed. This is not revolution, but it is resistance. This is not liberation, but it is movement. This is not justice, but it is balance shifting. My hand finds the watch in my pocket. It is still there, not hidden anymore, not a secret, a reminder, a trophy, a measure reclaimed. The gold is warm. The weight is familiar now. The ticking is my heartbeat I winded once. The click is soft. The hands move forward, but they move on my terms. The watch now still measures in time, my rhythm, but time no longer measures to my breath. 3 months later, I sell the watch to a merchant heading west. The gold buys passage on a wagon train, documents, a new name, a new life built on the ruins of the old. The watch goes into another man's pocket. I do not mourn its loss. It served its purpose. The manager never recovered his order. The warehouse sold at a loss. I heard the news from travelers passing through. He found work elsewhere. Smaller operation, less authority, less precision. The watch broke him before I took it. I simply revealed what was already true. Marcus found work at a church. He is safe. I made sure word reached him. I sent money. Not much, not enough, but something, an acknowledgement, an apology, a thank you. He never responded. I did not expect him to. Some debts cannot be repaid, only honored. I do not carry the watch anymore, but I carry its lesson. Chimi is rither. Rither is power. Power belongs to those who remember, who refuse to let minutes become chains, who insist that breath belongs to the body that breathes. I remember my uncle's hands on the drum, I remember the silence that holds the pattern. I remember that they can take your body, but they cannot take your time. Not unless you let them. And I never did.